Hi there, explorers. This is Alex Flagg from Crafty Games. In this series of videos, I'm taking a deeper dive into the strategies and development of our new game Buru, coming to Kickstarter May 17th. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the first major module we want to add to the Ambelau expansion through our Kickstarter campaign, and that is called Ukum. Now, Ukum here, you'll see, doesn't have a board like Ambelau. It doesn't add a new region, but rather it's a new spirit that's added to the game. It can be mixed and matched freely. So this spirit actually changes the number of spirits you have to play with, no matter if you're playing with just the base game or if you're playing with Ambelau itself. So you'll see here we have this big old cover token here. This goes in the center of the board and will cover up the central decree area where we have the decree pile in the middle, and then we have the three spirits, Gunung, Banyu, and Manuk. Ukum covers up the normal reward for the Sacred Lake. So rather than winning one esteem by triumphing at the Sacred Lake, instead you will win the Ukum totem. Now, the word Ukum in Javanese means law. And Ukum is the spirit that kind of represents the order on the island, the clan hierarchy of the people that live in Buru, and things like that. So Ukum is a spirit that values order and cooperation, natural law, things like that. And you pay tribute in an unusual way. So if you look over here at the altar of Ukum, when you pay tribute to Ukum, you don't pay resources, you don't pay ebony or fish or clay or palm or even move to a special space like you do with Ambelau, but rather you discard an islander from your tableau to draw a tribute card. And you'll see these tributes are pretty small. They range from 1 to 3 esteem each. However, the cost is quite low because the cost of buying islanders is always fish. So consequently, Ukum allows you to do some interesting things with your islanders. If they are no longer working for you, maybe they're cheap, you can get islanders as cheap as 2 fish. So 2 fish, even for 1 esteem, is a great deal. But being able to use that islander as long as you want and then, exile them at a later point is a great way to, maybe a good strategy to get some extra points here and there, or something if your combo isn't working the way you'd like it to. But the real star of the show and the best things to exile are a new class of islander that's shuffled into the deck when you're playing with expansion. And they are called outlaws. You'll see there are 9 outlaw cards here. And these are a bit unusual. So the fields here, they do not have any function by themselves. They always cost 4 fish. And they all have sort of negative connotations. We have thieves, pirates, smugglers, poachers, apostates, tyrants. And these characters do not contribute positively to the life on Buru. They are actually sort of a blight. And so you can win the respect of the people and the respect of Ukum by actually exiling these characters more than you would from just getting rid of any old islander. So in this case, you'll see they have a split function, which is unusual from other islanders. The first function is that by tasking them, you can discard this particular card to pay tribute to Ukum. So if I were to take this tyrant here, and I were to give that tyrant a task at the village or on Ambelau, I would actually discard the card, and then I would get to draw a free tribute card for Ukum. So not only do I get, it's another way to get victory points by giving tasks, and also to pay task out of turn. That can be quite advantageous, especially if you still hold the Ukum totem, because that is the last one to pass around, since it is always changes hands when someone triumphs at the Sacred Lake. But then you have the second part. Now, this is in a scroll. This little scroll means an effect that's always in effect as long as it's in play. So you'll see this on decrees like the Altar of Ukum here. You'll see that this Altar of Ukum is, while this decree is in play, whenever you pay tribute to Ukum, you're going to gain a fish. So these guys have a little scroll in them. And so when you discard, that means when you discard this card, you get a special bonus. In the case of the Tyrant, by discarding the Tyrant, you unlock your guide for the next round. Guides are explained in our video about Ambelau a little bit. But this is a nice way to get a little kicker that is a way to counteract the cost of that particular islander. So generally speaking, the reward you get is equivalent or roughly equivalent to the fish cost. So not only by discarding or exiling an outlaw, not only do you get victory points, you're also getting a reward that's commensurate with the cost you paid in the game's economy. So effectively, by spending a task or a recruit action and some fish, you're going to get these cards, which you can then discard to get free esteem and also another benefit. So you can use them to build combos. In the case of the apostate, by discarding the apostate, I get 2 esteem. So I would get the esteem from the tribute card and also the apostate, and potentially also from holding the totem. So all of a sudden you could turn an apostate into a 6-point swing, which is gigantic in this game. Other ones like the thief here, you'll see gives palm. And we have the poacher gives ebony, the smuggler, I believe, gives clay, things like that. So these all have a nice little payoff. So there's sort of a strategy of setting up this cycle where you want to acquire these guys and then use them, kind of have them sitting around, maybe use them to fill out your counts, potentially hold them for elders. But then also you can discard them when you need them to get a special benefit later. So, and you can do so by just spending a task, which means you don't have to go to the Sacred Lake and you don't have to spend one of those very valuable and rare options to pay tribute. Although you could pay tribute normally, and this effect still goes off. So there's a lot of strategies, but the main advantage is being able to kind of stagger the order, being able to use these guys to scaffold to different resources, which might set up other tributes and increase your scoring even more. But yeah, it's one that I think for new players is a little unusual. That's partially why they're not included in the base game, because this strategy of knowing how and when to discard islanders and how to use them is a little bit more sophisticated than what we were going for in the base game. But for more advanced players who like deeper strategies, alternative strategies, or are more experienced gamers, using Ukum will provide some new diversity and some new ways of coming at the game that can be quite surprising and fun. So that's the overview of the Ukum module. This will be included in the Kickstarter campaign. It will be a stretch goal. If it's unlocked, it will be added to every single copy of the Ambelau expansion for absolutely free. All right. Well, thank you for listening. And if you want to check out the campaign and learn more about Buru, please check it out on our website. That is burugame.com, burugame.com. Thanks very much for listening.